in an hour after this.
That was pretty good. Pretty good. Rob, what are you looking? You're looking in just amazement at something. What are you looking at?
I'd also like to know what Rob's looking at.
You know when you just like you've been away from your computer and you're just seeing green, and you're just seeing like it's just not red, it's not like, you know, fucking Gensler, it's not, you know, are they gonna fucking
Did you see they're actually adding a really good amendment to that infrastructure bill regarding cryptocurrency?
Hey Dan, we're live now. We're just I'm gonna add you in here. We're just doing a little pre-show here.
Neeraj was like, "Yo guys, like this is super fucking important. Like we're on this as hard as we can be."
Fucking Fireblocks raised 310 million in a Series D.
That's
valuing it at 2 billion. I mean, come on, like. Fucking A.
We are live, Random Pass, so don't don't say anything you don't want everybody to hear.
I better not talk about the stuff.
Yeah, the stuff.
Jesus.
You leave the stuff.
Is right. I gotta find your green, Dan. You got a weird teal thing going on behind you, and it's ghostly again. Look at that. Look at this. Guys, this is the pre-show. If you're watching, you're like, these guys seem super relaxed right now. Yeah, we're just getting set up. Figured.
You want me to turn the light down?
We'll do it live. Yeah, I don't know. It's not quite green.
Not vibing. Hang on.
Yeah, stretch it out a bit.
Hold on.
Yeah, you got to get it together, Gunny. Stretch it out. Get that backlight behind it killed. Looking ghastly. Yeah, Jedi Hornet sees it. Now we would just go late today, but why not? We're just sitting here shooting the shit. We'll go live. We'll do it live.
Does Dan have his?
Fuck it. Okay, I'm gonna set up over here. Whilst we wait, get the Gunny.
Gunny, 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 are you there?
Took your derbs.
Gunny, what are you doing, bro?
Baby. All right.
No. Hang on.
Yeah, not gonna lie, it's a little weird.
Yeah.
It's a little weird. I wonder if I could do like color select.
A little bit.
A little bit better.
Like you took your green screen and like wrinkled it up in the tightest.
It's you know what it is, Dan. It's the light behind you. The light.
Oh,
yeah. You want
okay,
light in your face. You just don't want windows and shit.
Hang on. Let me figure this out.
Dan looks super red.
Rob,
maybe just a bit of a sunburn. But.
WSS wants to know if Rob's minting peppers. I don't think I've shilled Rob on the peppers yet. I have been minting them like a fiend.
Oh boy.
How that's gonna age.
Fucking A, right.
I gotta tell you, like and look, this just isn't my lane, you know. So I'm gonna give a perspective from somebody who's lane it's not. Just be mindful of that. This NFT mania going on right now is going to end horrifically.
Yeah.
You know, here's the difference between an NFT and a shitcoin. Okay.
That'll do, bro. We're gonna run with that.
It's
we're gonna run with that.
Thing.
The second shot doesn't look too bad.
So let's say, you know, you truly believe that NFTs are the next huge wave, and that this isn't the top of the NFT level. So you bought the punks, you bought your parallel NFTs, you know, you got your deck set up, you got all this shit going on, right? What are you gonna do when Bitcoin goes on the golden bull run to $150,000, $200,000, and you're stuck in $1 million of JPEGs? It's not just that they're illiquid. It's also just like they might like have zero. They might be zero liquid. Is the thing. You know, with the shitcoin, oh my god, you know, like the market's down 20%. Fuck, maybe I can jump out of this. I can lick my wounds. I can, you know, regather myself, figure out what's going on. Oh my god, my JPEG is down 20%. I hope somebody buys it. Oh fuck, everybody's trying to sell them now. What am I gonna do? Oh my god, the price is just I'm just terrified that this is going to end in a situation like that. I mean, if anything is going to make it, it is going to be stuff like, I think Parallel, Coin Artist has been working on Neon District for a while. The gaming applications are obvious, but even then, we're looking at Parallel NFT, which, I know a lot of guys that just made a
test
stupid amount of money on that, right? Which doesn't even have a game out yet. And you're saying that people are going to come in when this game goes live and spend
hold on,
$100,000 to put a deck together? Like,
can you get your mic something? We're having that issue again. I've got you cranked up to 5 decibels here.
5 decibels.
Your input, Messi. We got to work on your input.
I've literally never had this issue. So hold on, let me.
I know it's weird. This is.
Yeah. Ever since you started producing,
no,
even
ask John. This is literally every show we'd have some weird fucking thing that would change. And
okay. Listen.
Thankfully, he was Johnny on the spot with
Messi to raise his input.
I've got you cranked to 6 decibels.
My microphone volume is huge.
No,
I've got it turned all the way up. Testing.
There you go.
Hey.
That's a little better.
Hold on. Testing. I
had you up too high. There you go. All right.
I don't fucking get it. Maybe I've just got it. Maybe it's too far away.
Yeah, I think we're too far away. Try moving it close.
I'm putting it down a little bit. Okay.
Put it in your mouth.
Okay. Right, Shellshank.
Put it in your mouth. Okay.
Shellshank over there.
All right, guys, we are going to get started here. Little bit of an interesting start today, guys. This is usually what we do for the 10 minutes before the show, off air. Today we pushed it into the show because we thought it's exciting. But stay tuned, guys. We're going to get started here. All right, guys, welcome back. It's DeltaFi Wednesdays with the Hxro Labs and Hxro crew. We've got from left to right, Crypto Messiah, Gunny, Rob Levy, and myself, RT Random Task 555 on Twitter. Good to see you guys all here today in the midst of NFT mania that I think everyone is secretly hoping will bleed over into everything else mania. Messi was giving us a little rant, his take on the risk, and you know what? I feel you. I'm probably a relatively nearby top buyer, but I'll tell you what. I really like Parallel Life. I was pissed. I went to get the packs. I went to get the packs. I was at the hotel. I was out west. I had shittier internet than I should have. And I messed up. I got 300. So I got like the weakest amount of reservations you can get, but still got some. And you know what the masterpieces? There's masterpieces. There's special editions, and then there's just like the basic ones. They're all part of the alpha series. So the next drop will be beta series. The next one, whatever, delta series, whatever the next one is. I think there is a reasonable chance that everything that's part of the alpha series that's not basic, like special editions, masterpieces, will age well. But like everything, I'm putting in like 1-2% of my portfolio. It's addictive though, I gotta tell you. This NFT stuff, you get into OpenSea, you connect your shit. I don't plan on selling anything. I haven't sold anything. I'm just like kind of accumulating cheap new shit, and we'll just see how far this goes. This punks, this little bubble mania we're in right now, it's not the end. It may end, and then we'll go flat, but nah. NFTs are here to stay, and I think I'm done talking about them. We were bullish on them on this stream last summer. We said next year, 2021, is going to be the year of the NFTs. It's going to be the year of DeFi, all these things. Didn't take a rocket scientist to see that, but I never actually bought any. So I'm buying them now, so top's probably in. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Stellar.
Great.
Doing really good.
We have a lighting consultant scheduled to come by Gunny's place on the weekend. So if you guys are offended by that,
dude, I am. I'm doing a full gut rehab on my green screen audio video setup.
it's
need to
weird.
watch that shit, dude. Like,
Because you've been pretty good, right? You've been pretty good for the last couple months.
No, I would literally. I think when I was on a couple weeks ago, I was ghost white, and then I was like Oompa Loompa red.
Yeah, we're gonna send you the fixers.
Your green screen's wrinkled as fuck.
I think before that I was
I was
2019 Brandon Fraser.
And before that, it was like 2012 Brendan Fraser.
Yes.
When was it?
You know what? I showed my wife those
Encino
pictures. I showed my wife those pictures, and she couldn't believe it. She didn't know who that was.
Dude, how about the Brendan Fraser meme?
No, that's what I'm talking about. What happened to him?
What happened to him?
He was.
Sad.
We're talking like 10 years. When I was growing up, that dude was the man.
Dude, you'd think he was in crypto.
Yeah, he was the fucking man. And then look at him now. Like, holy shit.
I feel kind of bad.
School
I mean, he's
ties.
probably living the dream. I hope it's just because he's living the dream. He's like, fuck it, I do whatever I want, anytime I want, and it probably includes like some drugs and some alcohol, and or he's just like super stressed and life sucks. I feel for him, but we'll see.
Something.
Somebody said Gunny looks like Darth Maul now, and I kind of agree.
All right, let's go over the charts. These charts might offset your color. This is okay. Real quick, this is Tomo. I don't know. I tweeted this with somebody a couple weeks ago, and I just looked back. I was like, "Fuck!" I think I closed this short on the first leg down, trying to reload it. Didn't. Anyway, squigglies for the win. Bitcoin. Let's just start here, guys. It's moving towards the 50-50. This is that wedge we've been watching. Love this breakout. The RSI led this breakout by like 16 hours or so. Like, it was pretty sick. It was just like, oh, poked its head out, and then price just went whoosh. Like, if you guys haven't messed with the RSI yet, it's not easy. It's not 100% reliable, but in this particular case, with all these tests, I thought, man, if that breaks out, that's a big signal, and it is not disappointed. So, I think we're bouncing around between these MAs now. Which one will touch first? One will touch. Guarantee you that. That's one thing we know for sure. One of these will touch before the other. Place your bets. We're smack in the middle of them right now, and it might be better to just zoom into a range if you really want to look at that. We've come in, pump chaser zone, coming up to the range highs here. It might be a short setup if you want to call inverse head and shoulder type shit, head and shoulder type shit. Lower high or lower low here. So yeah, we'll see. I personally do think it'll be something shitty here, and then we'll have another little leg down, because there's a lot in this range to fill in still. We're not quite filled in. But it's a nice bounce today, right off the 382 like we love. And Ethereum, more importantly, let's just touch on that before I risk taking over the entire opening. Ethereum BTC could be setting up for a moon mission. If this turns out to not be bearish market structure and ends up being like a bull flag continuation breakout, we could be looking at something like this. And fundamentally right now, EIP 1559, all these things, NFTs, all these things, DeFi confirming bullish structure. We could be looking at 0.11 for the next leg on this ETH BTC rally.
Dude, that'd be fucking insane.
That would be.
We're not ready for that yet.
I don't think so, right?
Look, I'm shocked at the strength of Ethereum relative to Bitcoin, mainly because it goes against everything that I've ever seen regarding the way the money rotates around here. It's almost like this money went into Ethereum and decided it wasn't going back to Bitcoin, and that's a first. I've never ever seen that shit. And
I think there's a lot of new money in here that
Robbie, I think you're 1,000% right. I was just going to say that.
They see Ethereum and they see different classes. Seriously, Bitcoin is an own for them, period. But then there's this whole new world with Ethereum and DeFi.
It's all everybody. People talk more about Ethereum than they do Bitcoin at this point. In the
in those circles,
in the real world.
Yeah.
Also, one other notable. I went to dinner with an old neighbor of mine, and his kids were there. Two of them. They're not that. They're kind of mid-30s and then kind of upper 20s. They said that all their friends are trading crypto, but all they're doing is trading Ethereum. And I was like, He's like, yeah, that's all anyone's really trading.
Yeah, now this is a really tricky spot for Ethereum because what we're doing here is we're pushing up into this trend line resistance, which only was just established. This is not like beaten to death, where we've got 3 or 4 tests. I mean, this is the first test since this trend line was established. And we have a daily that's trading above it. That is not a breakout. That does not negate this downtrend. We really want to see like that W on the other side. So with EIP 559 going live tomorrow, arguably the largest sort of fundamental day for Ethereum of the year, this is a really interesting spot. And if it is sell the news, we're going to see this turn into a wick and it's going to be like, aha, and it could get pretty ugly. So as a trader, I don't have a whole lot I can do here. Versus USD, I did add to my Ethereum position this week because I just thought, man, I'm underexposed to this thing and it looks good versus Bitcoin. But what do you guys think? Messi, I know you've been following EIP 1559 pretty closely. Is this pump big enough to warrant a sell the news suspicion, or do you think this is like front running as a breakout?
Crypto is always sell the news. I still am thinking that the money is going to rotate to Bitcoin. You've got some of the bigger Ethereum whales. Kyle and Sue have been going on and on and on about how Bitcoin dominance is about to go back to 60%. And this is your fucking chance. I don't know whether to believe any fucking thing they say. Like a lot of people say that, they just talk shit and it's psyops. But the last time that they were beating that drum, well, it did. And I got wrecked because I didn't believe them. Mm-hmm. For me, it's more just like, I'm looking at all these markets and the structures are looking really, really, really good. We're at those points though for where, with me, like, it's just got to do a little bit more, and then I'm gonna be like, okay, it's time to get in. Like this is the real deal. I posted this in our Discord and on my Twitter a couple days ago, a megaphone chart. It looks like a right angle megaphone, and once again, we have broken up and then back below this megaphone, which is, hold on just a second.
What's a megaphone?
Broadening formation. But for me,
for Bitcoin, I think I've got it here.
Yes, for Bitcoin. If you go, yeah. So that's basically what I'm looking at. And it's a slightly different chart if you look at it on FTX. And I even modified that megaphone because I didn't want to skip those 2 peaks. I connected those first 2 points. If you look at it that way, what happens is that first break above that line, we broke back below it and we visited the bottom of the megaphone. Well, we're doing the exact same thing now. Here, let me post the updated.
Rob has hesitant face. What do you got, Rob?
No, I mean, I see the megaphone, but these are just lines on charts. I want to know.
Well, they're not just lines on chart. That those other lines are those are the VWAP and sigma levels from the VWAP, which have been doing exceptionally well. I will say one thing about this market, and when you look at what's going on here, and Rob, I've talked to you about the options, crypto options in this market. I do think that they are having an impact now, and if anything, that impact is an impact on liquidity. And I think that on the run up, you can see that we never got those classic Bitcoin buy the fucking dips because IV was through the fucking roof. Liquidity was super high. And we just fucking went down and we went up. We had that big options expiration, and it did dump the price as dealers dumped their hedge inventory after. I mean, literally the second those options expired, it went down. IV is still through the roof now, and what we're seeing during this price act, or while these conditions are present, is that the price action is very sticky. I mean, it's very grindy. And it typically is going in one direction. So if it's grindy to the upside, then it just fucking goes up. If it's grinding to the downside, then it just goes down. Now, this pump, I'm 100% sure now, was Alameda. It was 100% engineered by them. You can see it on you can see it on the Delta. You can see it on the Delta on FTX. Literally at the top, FTX unloaded Delta equivalent to just about everything that they picked up all the way fucking up. I don't know what the fuck you're laughing at.
Straight from the corner of Cope, man. Come on.
I don't know what you're laughing at. That's the reality. Here, I'll show you.
No, it's not.
You want to bet?
You guys have to have at it. I'm just going to sit over here and hit my vape.
Wait till you fucking see this chart.
But why is it Alameda?
No, it could be. There's
why is it Alameda? Because I think Alameda has grown to a big enough force to where they control market movements or have a very significant impact.
Oh my god.
Oh, well, there's lines on the chart right here. Very.
You know what that is, though, right? We're looking at CVD here. You know, this isn't lines on a chart. This is order flow. And, you know, you can see very clearly on FTX that those orders being dropped. I mean, they unloaded their positions. Who trading that fucking size is on FTX? It's Alameda. It just fucking is.
What were the deltas elsewhere, though? What if they were buying it on Binance and Coinbase?
They weren't.
Right.
They weren't. They weren't. The deltas like elsewhere weren't like that. You could see a huge delta spike where FTX was leading the whole way up. Remember the funding on FTX was
let me ask you this,
hard
Dan.
and bullish when
But
everything else was bearish.
Daniel, they could be doing a lot of OTC. What if they have a big OTC customer that was trading, and an OTC customer laid off a few $100 million worth of Bitcoin on them OTC because they are the liquidity, and then they have to move.
Well, I mean, I was watching the order flow on the way up, and you could literally see, machine gun these $300,000 market buys on the perp just coming in, just boom, 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 boom.
Here's the thing, Daniel,
when they're unloading it was the same thing.
It was the same with. Here's my problem with that, with knowing exactly that, is even in like a single listed, the corn options or corn futures or beans, like you'd get people coming in and executing, and you just didn't know what they were doing against it in the futures, in another product.
I agree, Rob.
Well, on Twitter, Sam Trabucco, or whatever, however you pronounce his name, literally came out and said that they put on a large directional bet, which is rare for Alameda. And you can see that large directional bet in the delta. You can also see that large directional bet being unloaded. When that delta got unloaded, the Bitcoin, local top maybe, but the top was in. I'm just saying,
Okay,
does that mean
even if they did, look, it makes sense. It's a range. We went above the range. We bounced off it. They crushed it. And like I actually do think we are going to trade lower in this range. I'm not chasing today.
That's the next big question. Okay.
But I guess it's like, I don't know. I don't like to get caught up with who's doing what. Like, I don't care. Trade the chart, right?
That's like one thing with trading. Like people always talk about they. There's this like.
It's an infinite, right? And you can't know.
There's this invisible market hand known as they. And they're like, they did this, they did that. And it isn't any one person. It might be in certain instances, but it's generally a confluence of like multiple things happening.
No, of course. And I'm not saying they were the sole person responsible for this, but this 100% was engineered. But the question is, this doesn't mean that it just dumps to hell from here. The question is,
like engineered as in like they shorted the range highs and they're making money. Like
engineered is in somebody with more money than God, or a group of people with more money than God said, "Hey, the bottom's in," and they pushed it up, and that's how bottoms are made.
Squeezed every one of these highs. They grabbed
that's how
all
bottoms
that
are
liquidity.
made. It just is. There was a lack of sellers at the bottom. These guys stepped in. And they injected a fucking ridiculous amount of money in the market.
Right, you're not saying it was like manipulative. You're saying it just was a trade.
No, that's just how markets work. I'm not saying they're manipulators or anything like that, but I am saying, and here's my real question right here. There's two real reasons to do what was just done. Okay, so the first of those reasons was to put bottom in. Right, we're going to put bottom in. We're going to come down. We're going to clean up anybody who's long from that top, and then we're going to go and we're going to embark on this golden bull run, and it's going to be incredible. The second reasoning would be the bull trap and a grind down back to the bottom of that broadening formation. which puts us at 24 or 25K. You know, you guys are laughing at that possibility, but I don't think that that's something that we should be discounting, because right now, the way I see it, you got COVID fear spreading like mad. It's all anybody's talking about. My mom called me terrified about this shit last night.
Daniel.
It's way worse in other countries. Okay. School starts back in 2 weeks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's my thinking. I'm thinking that the risk of a potential black swan, maybe it's priced in to the extent that it's not going to be as bad as last time. But if we even get word of any kind of lockdown or anything like that, everything goes. And unfortunately,
Daniel, you're thinking of it the wrong way, bro. What happened last time? That's so bullish.
No, you're right, but that's the dip I want to buy.
No.
It's bullish after the dip.
But what if the dip doesn't come?
It's a new paradigm, bro. I mean,
oh God, don't say that.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding with that. But that's kind of the cycle of the stimulus, the quantitative easing, the easy money, the policy. Like, bad news turns into good news because it just means that the helicopter money, we're on the teat for longer. It's just stimulus. In the end, that is bullish for these sort of assets.
Well, there's all these huge funds, right? And you've got, what's her name, Kathy Wood, and larger, way bigger fish than her that are worried about a deflationary shock first.
Yeah.
And I'm worried about that too. You know, I'm not, those guys know way more than I do. They've got way more cash than I do. I know school starts again in 2 weeks. This Delta variant is a big deal because it infects children a lot more easily than the other one does. If there were to be some kind of lockdown announcement or something like that, this time is not a knee-jerk reaction. They would definitely announce this stuff before these kids got back in school. And of course, everybody will just shit their fucking pants and unload everything. That's what I want to buy.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
There's other conditions.
Here's the thing. The last time COVID came up, right? Trump announced the European border exclusion, and that was like hours before we saw the nuke. And then anyone who sold through that got burned. So do they then just fall for the same thing again? It's going to be a different human reaction. We have you got to understand, the same things happen over and over again. Yeah, sell the news, mainnet launch, sell the news. Okay, but this, on a global macro scale, I don't know if it's going to react the same way, because we now know that the outcome, like Rob said, is more teat.
Liquidity.
Here's the thing.
It's
Yeah.
like, it's still growth.
It's not like, oh no, what will happen? Well, we know what will happen. They've said it as much. Jerome Powell's come out and said, we will prop the shit out of this thing as long as we need to with money that we're going to, like, here's why I'm laughing.
Quantitative easing failed.
I'm not laughing because I know better. I'm not laughing because I know what's going to happen. I'm laughing because when I hear you concocting these narratives, I just ask myself, like, how do you trade that? You know, it's very subjective. Where, you know, like, so I mean, obviously I'm pretty TA heavy, so I look at this, I say, okay, like, when this happens and then that happens and this happens, I have a setup, I'll trade it, and this is my invalidation. How do you trade? You know, Sam Trabucco is like squeezing the market higher to sweep range highs, like, and if,
well, the correct thing to do would have just been to say, hey, this is what Sam's doing. I'm going to get long his balls, and then I'm going to short when he unloads.
I guess so. If you're saying that he squeezed that up and they were seeking liquidity and they have their liquidity now, you're like, okay, get the fuck out. Okay, fair enough. What I see objectively on all these charts is, I mean, it's pretty much right here on the chart, but it was squeeze lower. We see the on-chain analytics, and bulls are in control. The volume favors the bulls, and it's really hard to hide
low volume.
That. I don't know if I'd call it low. I mean, it's all relative on this chart. So, it's,
relative to
the bears did not show up.
Yeah.
The bulls are in control. So the volume impetus here is bullish, period. And that can reverse, but it hasn't yet. And in fact, it had a chance to just the last few days. And if this daily closes green, we've got another high in bull volume.
I mean, we saw extremely similar structure in 2019. We had this big squeeze up. Everybody said we're going to the moon, and it was very, very disappointing when we made new lows, in a month or two after that. I'm not going to sit here and think that, hey, everything is just okay and this is going to be great. Here's the thing. I mean, to me, I look at, equities markets, they look heavy. If you look at Chinese equities markets, they're in the dumps. There is real risk for some kind of risk-off event here. And considering that risk of having some kind of risk-off event, considering how aggressively that downside would be pursued, I want to be extra cautious about the way that I'm approaching upside here. I want to be very bullish. Some of my favorite projects look great. Rook has broken its horizontal channel to the outside or to the upside. It looks strong. It's got a bit of volume there. It seems to be holding. I'd love to just say, you know what, these are great prices. I'm just gonna put a big fucking pile of money in this and know that I'm gonna be okay. But the thing is, when we do have this risk, this elevated risk, and even if the chances are 5-10% that we're gonna have lockdowns again, that's not something that I'm going to ignore. I just feel like if we got that kind of news, and even if it was for 2 weeks, I mean, dude, it would be chaos. It would absolutely be chaos. And the Biden administration, one of their main points for getting into office was talking about how Trump botched this fucking COVID shit. Now he didn't handle it right. Now he's an idiot, and only if you had taken action sooner and this and that. So when I know that that's this administration's stance and how they would look if they didn't do something as early as possible, it scares me. Okay, and you guys can laugh all you want, but I've seen it fucking happen.
Well,
I think you can position, if you think it's a 5 to 10% chance, it's just like, okay, so buy some insurance or buy some puts, but you might miss that there's so many people who've been waiting for the other shoe to drop in the S&P for literally since like S&P 2000, and it's like 4,500, and they've literally been saying that. And you can say even there that it's so
we didn't have we didn't have a global economic crisis happening at that time.
But we're at all-time highs, bro. Wait,
exactly, dude. I think people are euphoric right now.
No, here's one thing.
Listen to you guys. Oh, dude, no, they're just gonna drop the helicopter. It's gonna be okay.
It's not that. It's just that objectively everything's bullish, and so what you're doing is you're calling a trend reversal when it's speculating that it will reverse, which I guess Rob is pointing out.
We don't want
the trend is your friend.
Stocks only go up.
The trend is your friend.
Trend reversal is the dollar's going, DXY is going back to 100 scenario. We get real deflation and everybody's fucked. Doesn't matter what you're in. I'm not calling that.
I know, but
I'm not calling that.
I think that bottom line, yesterday, right? What do you think all the sentiment and algo, the headline scrapers, what do you think those bots and those algos were doing as Gensler was dropping some of the most harsh verbiage and critical kind of speech about DeFi, about crypto in general? They were hitting it. They were selling it. It had all the reason to get fucking smoked.
There really wasn't much of a reaction sell-wise after that news, which was surprising to me.
I think it means something, and that's why I
mean, if you look at the Google Trends though, and we're talking about who's looking at this stuff and the level of interest in this stuff, it's very low. Nobody's talking about Bitcoin. Nobody's talking about Ethereum. We're talking about worldwide trends, and we're also talking about in a period after retail just got fucking smoked. Primarily what I deal in, and this is mainly why I want to be more inclined towards Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin does have, that we know of, this institutional interest, this institutional money. Every single time I've seen a bubble, a retail mania in shitcoins, where they come in and they get absolutely washed, right? It takes some time to recover from that. We want to call bottoms and be very bullish here, when at the same time, you still got Dogecoin at a 30-something billion market cap. That just makes no fucking sense.
I think it depends on perspective. I mean, I agree with you. Altcoins in general, they do need a long time to clean up if it's a bear market. And post-summer last year, they did take quite a while to clean up. Charts take time. And so I am of the opinion that, there's going to be some, this is Bitcoin, but we always say this, right? You're going to take some time to clean up. You're going to come down. You're going to yeah, I'm all I get it. But it's about perspective, because if this, which we just confirmed a nice little higher in the weekly, if this turns out to be sort of like a stop in the mid of a cycle, in the mid of a bull, you don't get that. It's not like, oh, I can only be bullish once every single person's capitulated, because it doesn't, like thinking back to July
like
2017.
Said, you're a technicals guy. You got your chart pulled up. Is that the zone where you'd be buying Bitcoin? I've seen you draw that.
No, we've been buying Bitcoin since the low mid 30s. I'm not buying Bitcoin at range highs. So if your point is like wait till range EQ, like this 50 MA tag, a little pullback, I'm all for it. I put it in the newsletter yesterday. I said like 35, 33. Well, 33 I'm concerned. 35, 36 for a tag is nice. Today's, I don't think today is a break to new highs. In fact, I'll probably be looking for shorts up around these range highs. But this is all range trading for me. Fundamentally, though, can I be bullish on Bitcoin from 30,000s? Yes. This year, yes. I don't think doomsday is coming. And, I guess, I don't know. My only disagreement with you is the reasoning. It's a very spun up narrative you've got, and I just don't see how I can trade that reliably, consistently over time. That's
I think
where I'm
that
at.
The narrative isn't something that I'm trading. I think the narrative is more something that I'm waiting to see if it plays out. Now, I would say, we still haven't tagged some of those yearly VWAPs up above. I think that would be a really, really nice place to touch. Now we are looking around 44, 45, somewhere around there. If we can tag that
I think we have to hit this 200 MA.
That breaks us out of that broadening formation. We come back down, confirm support there. Everybody's waiting on the dip. That's where I'd love to buy some Bitcoin. Otherwise, like it just feels like diddling in the middle to me. And when I'm looking at Bitcoin, Bitcoin retraced 50%. Every single time Bitcoin is put in a top, it's gone beyond 50%. Every single time. But there's so many people that are so eager to say, well, this time is different because this, and this. You know what? Every time that I hear those reasons of why it's different, I start thinking to myself, and this is every cycle, oh, shit, maybe they're right. That
could be.
That could be.
Someday it will be.
We're talking about trading on narratives. I feel like a lot of people are trading on the narrative that this time is different. Is it? Is it though? Crypto is very obviously a risk asset. Any downside that we see in equities at all, crypto's like, nope. Any upside we see in equities, crypto's like, maybe I'll go up, maybe I'll go down, whatever. The reality though is that in terms of risk, people are going to risk off crypto. I feel like it's not.
I'm just going to call you on the every time Bitcoin goes down, it goes over 50%, because I still think we're mid-cycle if we're going to play cycles here. And if you want to say that the bull started on this breakout last cycle and then tagged here, let's measure from that. And it was the midsummer doldrums took us to exactly the 0.5. So I don't think that needs to happen again, but it's false to suggest that
where is this 0.5?
Right here. So I'll make it a little clearer, but it's like there's a perfect take it half back and go. And we just kind of did that again. We actually overshot it a little bit.
So I don't think that during that period of time, like we had a true retail mania either. They weren't here. When these guys get wrecked, they don't come back for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm trading level by level. We're still in the range. I'm trading the range. But you know what? We don't get Dan very often. And I feel like he's a little left out of this conversation. We can go back and forth on bullish and bearish all we want. I am short term, not loading any more longs here. I'm looking to short these range highs because I do think we failed into the range and we're going to range for a bit. But look, bullish this year. Dan, how are you doing? You've been very busy lately. What have you been up to?
Just over here.
Yeah.
Sucking my I'm doing nothing except buying Solana and a couple Solana related names on dips.
I'm actually long on Solana today. Picked some up before a round of golf this morning. But so that's good to hear. I love being on side with you when we're trading. There's a really nice little signal here this morning. We'll see if I can find it here while you fill us in. I know there is a hankering for some Hxro network teasers. You got anything for us today?
Yeah, we're getting, we're getting closer with staking. We're getting closer with parimutuel. I'm hoping later this month we're going to see something publicly. And then we are, we've been so all hands on Theo protocol. Obviously, it's a very complex, ambitious, but has big payoff for for the market. In a very big way. Very, very, we think is very game changing to the option space, and working very closely with the Solana team and a couple other teams that have joined our project. Engineers from a large proprietary trading firm called CTC, Chicago Trading Company. A couple other big prop firms that have been a part of Hxro for quite a while now. Everybody's kind of coming to the table and starting to to commit resources to the project, and it's super exciting to see.
Beauty. And I got to ask you the question, because I also just want to know this every week. What is our projected launch date? When do I get to stake my tokens? When do we get into the juice?
Without making full promises, I'm hoping towards the end of this month, beginning of next month.
Okay, so we're thinking about maybe pre-Q4. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful. If you guys haven't already, check out the Theo white paper, light paper. And if you missed Rob and Messiah, I think it was a week ago, talking about it ad nauseum on Twitter Spaces, maybe we can set something else up like that in a week or two for a little follow-up AMA. I know there's a lot of good questions.
I think we were planning on maybe doing something tomorrow, making it a weekly thing, and just, it doesn't have to be me and Rob in there. It could be me and Dan. It could be you and Rob. It could be you and Dan. But just, having that to first talk about, any kind of Hxro network updates, and then to do some options education, discuss the state of the options market, what the skews are looking like, that kind of thing. Just to talk about the information that's out there, I think it's important as an options protocol, and if we want to have an education arm, we need to be educating on, what we are. So. Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, you guys keep an eye out for that tomorrow. If this is something that we can get together, I'll host it from Crypto Messiah, just because that gets it in front of the most eyes. And we'll probably have it in the afternoon, probably be about 30 minutes. But anybody can come talk, shoot the shit, say what you want, type of thing.
Yeah.
Beauty. For those of you guys who don't know, what I started doing, about a week ago, I haven't really been trading it much till today, is I set up a 10K futures account just to kind of return to my process. It's also picking a size that's smaller, so I don't have to really sweat like full account kind of stuff, and I can take a little more risk because burn the whole thing, and it's not gonna destroy me. Happy to report that today's trade is going okay. So that is the Solana long. That's the only thing I got today, Dan. So I'm really happy you said that. But we might get a little 30% on the account today after this 4-hour close. I don't know that I want to take the profit just yet. I'm waiting for the breakout. Volume is rising.
We've got action in shitcoins. I mean,
there is some good action.
There's been moves. Luna has moved. Perp protocol. Look out for decentralized.
Perp is pushing new all-time highs.
Perp's killing it. I keep hearing about it. I haven't traded it yet. Sadly.
There's going to be a DYDX airdrop too. So if any of you guys have traded on DYDX, I know they said they were going to exclude Americans. So I'm waiting to find out how they're going to do that. But yeah, very exciting. But you do go back and look at it. I wonder how fucking far this thing can go. If you had just gone all in on perp in fucking May, I mean, you really wouldn't even have ever been hurting that much.
I mean, things been mooning. I mean, you could say that about Axie Infinity too. Like that thing.
Yeah.
The other night, I was like, Jesus, with NFTs blowing up right now, how can this thing not make another run? And I was like, it basically seemed like a layup, and it's up another $5.50 just in the last 24 hours.
Let's go take a look at that one. I've got a chaos. I want to see it come into that second chaos level, because like that's, I mean, fundamentally it's getting driven. Oh, it's right at the level now. It's at one of them.
Seeing tweets of this thing is making $70 million of whatever time period.
Yeah, revenues.
And they're like, what the fuck?
So it's in a zone right now. Here, I can already tell there's probably bearish divergence there. Yeah. Okay, so I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Can I make a comment on Axie for a second?
Please do.
What is the monetization strategy beyond play to earn? And the reason I ask is I was speaking with a fairly large VC, and it was something that was being kind of debated. And you know, I've heard from more than one person that like a large majority of the user base of Axie Infinity is like hundreds of thousands of, I guess, like what you'd call like miners or like farmers, which are like kind of like smaller country people who like, you know, spend 17, 20 hours a day on their computer basically mining for coins. And like once that runs out, what happens?
But where's the revenue then, Dan? Like that's what I'm
asking. I'm trying to wonder like where, like it's so bullish right now, and what they're doing is amazing, but like what is the monetization of it? Like where is the revenue? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing Delphi Digital. Let's get Tom Shaughnessy on. Let's ask him and his crew.
Did anyone read their report?
$1.1 billion of total revenue. I mean, it doesn't sound like just kind of like phone farming. You know, like I'm picturing those farms of just phones that are connected to computers.
Oh, the woman sitting in front of
what we heard
phones.
about. We have a friend who, Rob and I have a friend who was very early in Bitcoin, and like kind of what motivated him to buy Bitcoin at like $1 or whenever he bought it after reading about it on Slashdot was that he was watching, I think he was like at his ex-girlfriend's house or something, and he was watching like the girlfriend's new boyfriend like mine for WoW gold on World of Warcraft, and like the guy was just spending all of his time doing it. And he was describing the scenario as like, I walked in this house, it smelled like fucking shit. Like there was like a baby crying with like huge diaper rash who like hadn't been changed in days, and all the guy was doing was mining WoW gold. And like what I think about is like Axie Infinity, it's the same fucking thing. Like you basically have millions of these guys, they all have babies with fucking diaper rash sitting next to them, and like all they're doing is mining for Axie.
Dude, Axie Infinity is literally like providing a way for these guys in like Venezuela and extremely impoverished nations to make ends meet, and like they can make more playing this fucking game in a week than they would on their own in probably a year. It's we've talked about this before. I mean, it's the same thing we saw with Rayblox back in the day. I mean, Rayblox they had this CAPTCHA mining thing, so you go to the Telegram and it's literally 100,000 people in there that didn't speak a lick of English, all from these disenfranchised nations, and they were all solving CAPTCHAs instead of, you know, farming rice or whatever, all day, every day, CAPTCHA solving. Because you know what? They could make $5-6 a day. They weren't going to make that shit at home, not even fucking close. You know, they were literally feeding their entire communities with this shit. So we see kind of a similar thing here, and I hope it stays. I think it's a great thing that it is supporting, you know, that economies like that and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Dude,
I love it,
and it's a bootstrap. It's a bootstrap. It's a way to get users. It's a way to bootstrap growth. But what you need behind it is something to maintain that momentum once you have it, because otherwise, it literally falls off a cliff and goes to zero.
Yeah, now I think there's some cyclical nature of the game where people buying into the game, people buying new characters or paying to breed their characters basically funds a treasury that goes to the stakers. Like, I think there is some cyclical element, but I see what you're saying. And as a bootstrap phase, it may be the most lucrative, and then it flattens out or, God forbid, rolls over heavily. I haven't read the Delphi report, nor have I done a deep dive into the game.
I need to, obviously, just to kind of...
I was curious if any of us have actually read that report. That's basically what got this run started, as far as I know. It was sort of the buzz through this initial rise. I'll tell you what, as a trader, I look at this. Obviously, I've written it on the chart. This is a major caution area for new longs because the highest high that has came in on a reduced volume. Does not mean the rally's over, but that's usually the if the high comes in on new highs in volume, I'm like, oh, this thing's going higher. We are starting to see that exhaustion. We are at some objective levels. We're getting rollovers in momentum. So can I take new longs here? Not at all. Like, not from this perspective. But as a trader, what excites me is this simple question. Is this going to be the last play to earn game that comes out, right? Is this the last place you're going to find NFTs, gaming, DeFi all rolled into one? And I would say almost certainly no. Well, guaranteed no. There's already like 20 in production. And so when I look at this, I just think of cats out of the bag, catalyst, first one out the gates, and now it's like, let's play those echoes. And so I've been loading up on gaming tokens, NFT gaming DeFi tokens, parallel life NFTs, Pepper Attack. I've been messing around. My buddies and I, like, we are just minting the shit out of these Pepper Attack. Yeah. And it's going to be, you stake them to mine new tokens. You lend them to new different players for a cost, and then they can go battle with them. Like, all these games, it's a matter of users, though. But I think even before the users get here for some of these newer games, it's going to be speculation that they will come. Yeah. And there's probably going to be some really sick trades out here. So
100% agree.
I look at this chart and I think, okay, cool, but that's not where my opportunity lies. Find me the echo plays, and there's going to be like 50 of them. So, and this will rotate, right? Like, if what you're saying, Dan, kind of happens and this cools down, or the users per month over month peaks, they'll start going to play that new bootstrap game that's paying $20 a day.
Yeah, you get this like sector specific momentum game where the money's going to shift out of the leader and then roll into these like smaller speculative echo plays that you're, as you describe it.
Yeah, and if I've got ladies set up in my shop with 30 phones and they're all farming the game, they're going to farm the one that pays the most. They don't give a shit about any particular game. So, yeah, I think there's an army of people looking for play to earn.
Are those shops allowed in Canada?
I don't know. I just have this visual in my head of like this woman in China, like sitting in a thing with like 50 iPhones in front of her, just like boop, beep, boop, beep, boop, 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 and
it's called the sweatshop, and it's not legal.
It's okay. So at least she was like clearly an adult, but that's happening here. There's farming, whatever, like literally farming, and so it's gonna go to where the highest yields are, and these games are just getting started. So if you guys are in the chat and you know of some of these, hit us up with some names. Let's check out some charts. Maybe on Hero Labs Live, just a little outside of our wheelhouse today with the four of us here, but we can dive into some websites and actually look into some of these things. Because I'm all for it, and I think this is a clear signal that this concept is here to stay. I'm still butthurt, Rob, about our ETHverse. Last summer, Rob and I were really bullish on ETHverse. We had a bag. We were talking about play to earn, Minecraft, and we were right conceptually, but we picked the wrong horse. That horse is literally dead. It's a token that does not exist anymore.
Which one did you pick?
ETHverse.
Oh.
Now they have a new, the founders or whatever, they have a new project. They airdropped to the new one, but I mean, I was out by then, but oof, that one stung a bit. I don't know. Maybe we still made something off it. I feel like I got out there with something, but I definitely watched some of it turn to zero. Ghost. Okay, I did pick up Ghost. I don't know. I have a little dust wallet. Ghost is there.
I'm not fucking digging deep enough into the dumpster dive shitcoin land because
there's some good ones right now, Rob.
Before we even zoom in, look at the volume on this thing.
Jeez.
So what is going on with Ghost? Let's get okay, it's gonna make us drag it all the way. Come on.
What is that?
It's these gross Uniswap charts. There's probably a better one, so bear with me, guys. For the next,
you can always check out CoinTrader Pro for a clean chart.
Yeah, I have
versus
that.
Versus the data from CoinMarketCap or
I have CoinTrader Pro here. One sec. Okay, yeah, much cleaner for like random shit coins. Yeah, I don't know why. I forget where I saw that. It was probably somebody in this chat got me into Ghost. This is not showing me the same thing. Aavegotchi. So Aavegotchi. This is like the founders of Aave that have created this sort of gaming type thing, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
But. Don't pull from their Uniswap. Is it on CoinMarketCap or CoinPaprika as a data source by chance?
Yeah. There you go. Good man. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ooh, yeah. So I mean, and this thing. So what we've got here looks really strong. Actually, I might add a little because I just took some little shit bags. I mean, look at dude. Okay, Rob. Dumpster dive complete, bro. Look at this. This is like the BNB setup. Not to compare the two. They're definitely apples and oranges, but BNB did this exact thing last year at $40 before it went nuclear. I don't know if that'll happen here, but this is a sick setup. We got resistance, kind of a almost cup and handily, just like rejected and then push through and retest on huge buy volume coming in here.
Is that like $50,000 a day or what? Is this like a legit?
Yeah, let's look into that.
$20,000 we're seeing.
This looks really good.
It's been really hot on Twitter. A lot of people have been talking.
It's 115 mil market cap, 60 mil trade volume, 24 hours, based on how legit the volume is. But most OKX.
So RT, if you draw the trend line from those top wicks, we've got this bear div with the trend line.
Why do I think you're about to say something bear?
No,
well, just because.
No.
Let me just be real here. Like,
I love how this show is shaping up.
I like this too. Okay,
Resident bear. Okay. Yeah. If there it's here. Yeah.
If EIP happens and that is sell the news, it's going to be a big one, right? It's going to be a big sell the news. Okay, and if that money rotates to Bitcoin, this shit is going to get smashed. It's at resistance right now. If you draw the diagonal, it's a fucking very obvious bear div right there. Like, it's just, for me, that's not the kind of level of risk that I like to subject myself. Because even if you guys think I'm nuts because I think lockdowns are going to come and we're going to have a dip in the market, that's fair enough, okay? But
I've got to cool my tits because you're not wrong.
Shit in crypto, sell the news has always been a thing. And the Ethereum guys right now are feeling themselves big time. So
my only problem with sell the news here is that it hasn't pumped that much, right? Like, it's not like, ooh, there's this massive rally and then the thing launches tomorrow. It's only just started to break out today.
Well, I think though
so that's weird.
This can be attributed to, because I hadn't heard jack shit about this except for everybody's excited because everybody's in this and the numbers going up. I think this can be attributed to that echo effect that you were discussing on our last stream. And you see this in similar projects where people say, well, fuck, Axie's on the moon, this is going up. So if in the event that, for me, like, if we don't see a big sell-off after this EIP shit goes live, because, I mean, a lot of shit can go wrong here too, beyond just being sell the news, there's risk in this large network upgrade. If we don't see that sell-off here, then I would be seriously considering, getting into some shitcoins and stuff. Because right now, I agree, the setups look good. Like, you look. I
mean, what would you say to this volume though? Because I'm with you in the sense that, well, look,
that we
I gotta admit,
this higher high on lower volume.
I gotta admit,
up against resistance.
We do have the trendline resistance. We do have bear divs in the RSI, and we do have lower volume in this push. So I'm going to take the L on that. I did rush to my excitement. However, I see a lot of volume here, man. Like, zoomed out. Zoomed out. And I just feel like with this big kind of consolidation-y, and then it's just like now it's...
Look at the last peak, though. I mean,
there's a setup here.
Equivalent volume there, at least on the top candle. And do we have this volume run up now? Yes, but can that be attributed to this NFT mania echo effect? Or, can that be attributed to, holy shit, this is the next Axie mega moon pump? Like, I think that it's 50-50 on that. Like, it could be either one. Like,
so the question is, can I make $3 to risk $1 here? Yeah. I mean, as a trader, the only question to me is, like, can I get $3 to my dollar here? because then I'll take the risk. I'll say, yeah, okay, cool, let it roll over. I'll take my stop loss. I'll lose some money. But if I'm right on my idea, right, if I can take that long and it moons, like you say, next mega moon Axie, I mean, what is the market cap here is 110 million, notwithstanding, things I don't know, like fully diluted. Oh, fully diluted, it's 120 mil. So it's pretty much all circulating according to that.
That's bullish.
Axie Infinity is over $1 billion now, I think 2.4 billion. So I could 24x if we're gonna talk, apples and oranges with apples to apples with AXS. I mean, again, I don't know if this is gonna do it, but it looks really fucking good. If we're gonna head into a bull here, so I guess the question is, without trying to get into this whole like, are we a bull, are we a bear? It's like, trade your setups, find things that look good, find things that fit the hottest narrative in crypto in 2021, which is gaming, NFTs, play to earn. And then you say, okay, like Aave's in the name, so you've got to figure if there is a legit connection there. I'm assuming there is. I'm pretty sure that's how someone had first introduced it to me. It's like, are they going to flop? Are they going to go to zero? Can I get out at $1.50 if I'm wrong and it just shits here, which it very well could? Yeah, but if I'm right, if the long pays off, how long, how high can this go?
What if?
Oof, yeah. That's all trading is, right? You don't have to know.
I agree.
You just have to risk.
The risk
less than you
reward
get.
does look very good. I will give you that.
So I don't want to sit out on that. If this breaks out in like a day or two, and then what? What, I'm going to buy now? I'm going to FOMO in there? I don't know. I agree with you, though.
It's more just the probability.
Here's what I want to know.
It's late in this move, I agree.
I want to know, because Messi's fears, which I do not think they're unjustified, like the fear of an event where the entire equity market, because it is very fully priced and like very rich in relative terms to where it normally is, like, he's not wrong. You need to have a little bit of that fear, because when prices in equity markets, if you look at these historical charts and you start seeing we're at valuation levels that are equal to like 2000 and the dot-com boom and equities and shit, clearly things have changed. The monetary policy regime, the liquidity pumped in the market, like things are very, very different. Interest rates now are zero and negative. They weren't that way back then. It is very different, but you need to be thinking about that. Here's my thing, though. I mean, Messi's a great fucking bull market trader also. So at what point do you kind of say, you know what, I need to allocate, I need to catch some of it's clear to me that we're probably going to have a fucking moon cycle here.
So I've
the
got
next
a really
leg, if it comes, will be
Yeah.
bigger than the last
So
one.
the beautiful, and I agree with that 100%. The beautiful thing about these crypto coins is that there are sectors, and that, we've got DeFi, and we've got NFT, and we've got shitcoins, and even within DeFi, you've got AMMs, and you've got lending protocols, and you've got MEV management protocols, and you've got new primitives being created that in the financial world, it's not possible for them to exist. Like, there's a lot of amazing stuff going on here, right? Like, let's just be real about this. In the last episode, I think I came across as very bullish on DeFi, very bullish on some of these shitcoins. But here's the thing. As much as it would hurt me to sit on my hands and say, fuck, I wish I'd bought Bitcoin, because then I could compound into that shitcoin rotation or whatever, there's always opportunity in the market. And that's how I curb my FOMO. I know for a fact that, let's say, because Ethereum is pushing up through some major fucking shit right now. Let's say Ethereum right now is about to rip back to $4,000, right? That is gonna be a fucking sign that, like, hey boys, like, it's time to get locked and fucking loaded. Like, shit is about to get weird. Not saying the second it touches 4,000, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If Bitcoin goes nuts here, obviously, altcoins are never going to run again, blah, 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 blah. Yes, they are. I think that DeFi is probably fucked if you're not doing it from a regulatory compliance standpoint. People are asking, why is Hero Network going to have baked in regulatory compliance? Well, guys, did you hear Gensler? Like, they're coming. They just are. Like, you got to.
Could be 2024 though before they get to the door. They're like calling from Alaska. They're like, we're on our way.
They seem to be talking about this shit a lot.
If you're trying to be here for the next eons, you better play for.
Yeah, you got it.
2024 is right around the fucking corner.
You got to do it right.
Yeah.
The main.
I'm with you. I'm fully compliant.
Look, if shit starts going crazy and the money, high ball of money's bouncing around, and DeFi is mad, and we're having DeFi season. I'm mainly a shitcoin trader, right? I've always wanted to catch the big Bitcoin move because I've always been so shit at it. But maybe that's just not my destiny. Maybe it's my destiny to where Bitcoin runs, and then I get to pile in my shitcoins and do what I always do. And
Daniel,
you know what?
I'll tell you what. The funny thing is, like, you nailed a bunch of pumps in the last alt cycle, but you could buy Bancor right now at 365 and you could catch a big move there. Kyber Network. There is stuff that, like...
No, for sure. I agree. And here's the thing about DeFi, guys. With this pending regulation coming, do you really think that we're not going to have that big DeFi bubble before that shit hits? Like, we are. Like, they are going to exit pump the shit out of this stuff. And it's going to be insane. Nobody's going to believe it.
See, but yeah, exit pump, like, you can only see that in retrospect. So it's like you're going to sit out an entire pump because it's an exit pump and then it's not?
No. Nothing's pumping right now. Like this, I'm not calling this a pump. We're just having some movement. Everything's great. Everybody seems pretty happy, right? I do think everybody still has way too much money, as evident by the spending on JPEGs and shit like that. But as you said earlier, which I agree with, if it's not going to be some kind of extended bear market or whatever in altcoins, then maybe people just don't get as wrecked as they did in every previous alt season. And you know what? That's okay. That is a future that I'm happy to accept. Okay.
I'll talk to you about shorting Ethereum back up in the 35s, because that's where, that's it's let's play these fibs. And that's me. It's just different things, and that's why I love this panel, because we all trade in slightly different ways. And the reason I love the way I trade, which is why I traded, is that I get to spot reversals in advance if I can, getting long in places like reload zones, saying, I dare you to dump because I'm right at the lows and I'll just get out. And what I hear is that you're setting up to trade a breakout. And I guess Rob's question is, like, where is your breakout? Is it at the highs? Is it at,
well, I'm waiting on EIP 1559. That's the elephant in the room.
I agree. It's a big day tomorrow.
That'll be very telling, about what's about to happen. Now, if there's two things really. So you got EIP 1559, and you've also got the fact that school starts soon. Everybody's scared shitless about Delta. If we do even have, because a lot of countries this go around are doing these 2-week lockups. 2 weeks, stop the spread. Of course, nobody will believe it's going to be 2 weeks, and maybe it is, maybe it's not. But I do think that the probability of something like that being announced goes down significantly after school starts as well. Why would they let these kids start school and potentially have all of that interaction and stuff?
Well, I'll tell you this.
This is planned this time.
As a teacher, I can weigh in on that. There is a huge push to get kids into school, even if it's for 2 weeks, because the social, psychological ramifications of being stuck at home have been
But that's
terrible.
For everybody, I feel like.
And the economy, kids getting into school, they want kids in school. They're not necessarily like, oh, if we might shut down, we'll just shut down early. That 2 weeks is valuable. It's a big 2 weeks. If it is just, So I will tell you that. I am a teacher. I get all the emails still, and we want kids in school. There's a ton of kids that are stuck at home in abusive situations. Like we need them in schools, even if it's for a week, to check in with their teacher to be like, how are you? Are you alive? Good. Lockdown.
Well, that's understandable, but I don't think that anybody's mental health is something that is being looked at as a primary concern here, as evident by the duration of the last lockdown. The severity of it,
depends where you're from too. We treated it very differently in Canada.
In the U.S., man, it was really bad. And there's a ton of evidence, of course, and I totally agree. The psychological impact on children and adults was horrific. You had record high numbers.
Closer to the mic, sir.
You had a record high number of people taking antidepressants. You had a record high number of suicides in the army. I mean, just all sorts of, and fuck, you know, I was psychologically impacted, and I feel like I'm pretty strong, you know, so I know if I was, like, certainly other people were like, man, fuck this, like, this is really fucking my head up. Okay, but I do feel like that risk is there, and seeing as every fucking day the war drums are getting beaten louder and louder and louder, I feel like if this is something that is coming to fruition, it is very soon. So you're not going to hear me a month from now still saying that. I feel like if this is going to be something that happens, it's going to be imminent.
Shit or get off the pot, Delta.
And the market, equities markets, aren't up only. You know, we even had that dip in the dollar. Granted, it went back to trendline resistance, but okay, so we're just going to sit here and we're going to range for a bit. Like,
actually, let's check the dollar because this is one of the things that's got me actually more comfortable with you know, feeling a little bullish right now, because you know we squeeze up. It's everything you want to see, right? You squeeze up into this resistance on divergence, create like a nice little rising wedge, and then break down really hard. Now we did come into this high time frame trendline resistance. This is sort of the last stand for this kind of, could we break out here? So it is there. It's still in play. Can't say it's not. But if we lose this trend line, it's Goblin Town for the dollar down to like 95, 96. Or sorry, 90.6, 90.5. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, shit, it would be really nasty if this was all we get on that drop down, and then it's just.
Let me ask Rob and Dan something here. You know, I want to hear y'all's perspective on this, because you know I'm not a global currencies expert. I don't know shit about it. I'm looking at the DXY chart. That's about the extent of where I'm at. And for me, you know, let's say that DXY chart was Bitcoin or was a shitcoin or something, like, I'd be like, you know, I'd probably think about buying that right there, right? So when you have, of course, the Delta variant is much, much worse over in Europe, Asia, all of these other countries. They're seeing much worse economic impacts than we are. Is there not a flight to the dollar because it's strong? Is there not a squeeze on the dollar? Does that not push the dollar up? If you're experiencing inflation in your own country, do you not go to dollars? You know, why so we are seeing that in these other countries right now.
But the one, I think the relevant point that you're making is that the dollar is not an absolute. It's on a relative basis, and so it's relative to the other currencies around it. So that's what is, I guess, ultimately most, you know, kind of one of the more important elements of it. What's that, Robbie?
So if these,
the nicest house on the block.
That's right.
So if these other currencies are getting demolished, you know, because of what COVID is doing in their countries, and I don't know why Europe and Asia is getting hit harder this time. Maybe because they're not as vaccinated as we are, or whatever. Like, I'm not quite sure, but they are. You know, if you every single day, especially Japan, they're bitching about this shit. It is smacking them in the face.
Bro, you're making the bull. I mean, you're just making the bull case for Bitcoin, in my opinion.
No. I get that. Okay, but what happens? Okay, because we had an entire year of euphoric up only helicopter money. Everything is great, you know, like everybody's making money. All these kids are day trading. Meme stocks are pumping. Blah, blah, blah. We've had this whole year of that. You know, what happens in the event to where the dollar, we really see a flight to the dollar, like, or something like that? You know,
I mean, the problem is
it's Bitcoin like is a deflation hedge.
But there's like this weird checkmate scenario of, okay, I'm out of euros, I'm out of whatever, and now I need to go put it somewhere. But the U.S. is printing dollars faster than anything, basically devaluing it. So what are your options, right? Gold, silver, Bitcoin, stable coins, and get yield? Like,
Even stablecoins are kind of sketch right now.
God damn it.
They are.
Like, you've been hanging out with Bitfinex again.
No, they just aren't. And look, we've already discussed this on stream before. Western society trusts USDC more. Chinese, Asian, Eastern society trusts USDT more. But what backs USDT? It's that commercial paper. And China's economy is getting wrecked. And it's backed by this Chinese commercial paper. Like, these are...
When there's nowhere to turn, they go... That historically, the flight to quality is U.S. government paper, like always. And so, but but really, which kind of also makes sense, because when the Fed prints more money, what do? What happens? Like, it just gets taken and they go bid up fucking treasuries with it, right? So, like,
what do you think right now about like rates and stuff?
How do you look up treasury bonds?
The 10-year's going fucking negative. I don't care what anybody says. Like,
how do you look up a treasury bond here? I've never done it in my life.
ZN's the future. Like, put it like ZN. What month are we in? Put it ZNU1. Try that.
Okay. You can also type in US10Y
or US10Y.
Yeah, look at that 10-year.
So with the bonds going up, that's what's that? So that's fear in the market a little bit. That's maybe a little.
I mean, that's just the normal
risk
like.
off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bonds.
There's
just
so many elements. Like, there's so much to it. There's all this, like, it depends what kind of year, like what year we're in, like in the presidential election cycle. Like, there's all these factors that kind of arguably could play into it that might determine what somebody's going to do. Like, if you have more COVID issues coming, online, and we think that the economy is going to go to a standstill again, like, you're telling me that Biden's going to like say, well, like, fuck no, we're going to start tapering and we're going to rip the Band-Aid off this thing. Like, that's just not happening. It's just not happening. You're just making, like, at the end of the day, it's just making the case for, it sounds crazy, it's just making the case for Bitcoin. And like, I do think the one thing, Daniel, I think is, like, I normally would say, yeah, like, this time's no different than others, but there is, like, the right capital is paying attention to it now and taking it seriously, and that is the difference to me. And that capital is larger than the entirety of the current market cap of Bitcoin and the crypto market as a whole by a large factor.
Let's talk about some asymmetric bets here. I know we've been going for about an hour 20. Let's talk about some asymmetric bets here on looking at some things right now. At least this is what I like to do in situations like this right here, are looking at some things where if we are in a bullish market, let's just say Bitcoin and ETH do kind of make this grind higher, or at least it's not as much negative, there's not as much fear. What altcoins out there can potentially rocket higher? Maybe you catch a double because they've seen some crazy money flow in the past. A couple like that like come to mind. There's some, and we talked about it a little bit last week, like some shitcoins that saw real money flow, real pumps that are maybe still down 70% from their highs, right? Like something that comes to mind for me would be like an Avalanche, right? AVAX.
Yeah.
I know, I think RT, you tweeted about it the other day, or someone who's following us, or they're like, it looks prime for a move. But stuff that, like AVAX is sitting at 1370 right now, and this is something that saw such massive flow where it traded up above $60.
AVAX looks good. I mean, as far as, like, you just saw that Luna chart. That's the squiggly we've been talking about. It just blasted through there. So now there's a new trade, right? I mean, we've reclaimed a key level, so it looks like it already tagged and moved. But let's take a look at AVAX, because it looks good in the sense that if we're going up, it has a ton of room to move without even really forming a new trend, really, like as a reversion
That's what I like.
Yeah.
I want to have sprinkled some bets there where if we're going up, great. It's good to have Bitcoin. It's good to have ETH. But there are some names where I want to get exposure to stuff that if we're going up, we can see a day where it's up 30%, 40%. And you're kind of like, must be the big buyer out there who just sees it at $15. I'm like, I want to buy $10 million of it. I'll pay up to 18. Like, I don't give a fuck. That's kind of what I'm looking for here. Just if we're bullish, right? And then you have to think, yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, I think your point is well taken in the sense that we don't know what's going to happen. We talk about it all the time as traders, right? Your job is not to know. Your job is to position yourself for outcomes and asymmetric bets and manage risk to the downside when you're wrong. And so, I mean, I'm all for it right now because, like you said, if we're a bull, if we're going to be a bull, like where do you want to be picking these things up? It's so easy to trade breakouts, like, like ape into things after they've broken out when it's a bull in the greed cycle. And we are not in greed right now. What we are in is a reload zone. Actually, we're below the reload zone technically. This 88.6 is sort of an extension of that. Dan's favorite level here on AVAX, right around $9.80. And why do you think it's his favorite level? I mean, look, if that's where you get greedy,
asymmetric bets.
Yeah, if that's where you get greedy in life, you're probably going to age pretty well if you know how to cut your losers. And
Make 10 of those. Make 10 of those.
Yeah,
you're gonna be.
I think
just
that's why Daniel's not afraid to be like kind of hesitant here because when there's usually a bunch of these where you don't have to catch many of them, and if you know kind of fundamentally that you feel good about it or solid about it, there's some stuff that you can catch some quick pops. Because if Bitcoin goes to 45,000, 50,000, what's AVAX going to do? It's going to have one day where it's probably going to be up $4 or $5. Probably. So, I mean, that's what I'm hunting those right now, and that's I think clearly dependent upon there's different scenarios you have to play out. If we grind higher, if we hang out, like projects that you do like that are doing things, making progress, have network value, finding some of those that they could run 30, 40, 50% and no one would think anything of it really. It would be natural kind of reversion.
Well, and that's the key word here is reversion, right? You don't need a bull market for this thing to be a great trade.
That's right.
You just need the elasticity of the market to take it back, right? We've got this nice big void here. Probably wants some price discovery in there. That takes us up to still stuck in the reload zone. I mean, that's right back to the key resistance that kind of really put this thing in the shitter at $23. So yeah, I'm with you. So we've had a lot of, I guess you could say, conjecture today, a lot of opinions, my own included, like just flying around with what could happen. And God forbid, I hope you're wrong, Messi, simply because I don't want to see another big wave of COVID and lockdowns and bearishness. I really don't. But I have to entertain that possibility.
I mean, it's
and
here.
I do that with stop losses, and I do that with... And that's the other thing. I live in a bubble. I don't watch the news. I don't watch any news. I don't read that shit because
me either. It's all
it doesn't
bullshit.
provide me value. It's not even that I don't think it's all true. I'm sure there's journalists out there doing good work. I just don't give a fuck. I live in my I stay in my basement all day. I'm like we said before. I'm in the salt mines, right? I'm at work.
RT, one more thing.
Did I hear your mom up there?
Yeah, no, that's my lady. She's cooking us.
I posted something in our Discord.
My fiance. I could say fiance now. I'm trying that.
Did he say I live in my basement?
Yeah, I literally live I spend 12 hours a day down here. Is the one knock on the new place I got is that the office is in the basement, but the high ceilings, not a fucking window to be found. But anyways, you got to have goals, right? We'll work towards a window someday. Actually, had a nicer office at my apartment. Anyways, it's not the point. Daniel, what were you saying?
So before we get out of here, check Discord. I posted an image that I think you'll find interesting. I'm not a big news watcher either. One thing I'm a big fan of is Google Trends, because it tells me what people are searching for, and you can cater that to a region or worldwide.
This is a hot topic right now. So I've heard. Again, I just hear little bits.
I'm telling my mother called me last night like frantic because this Delta variant stuff. My wife's a nurse. She says that their hospital is getting slammed, and it's worse than 2020. Like, I just can't. Look, I hate to be that guy. I want to be the hyperbole. Like, it just feels better. Being a bear is depressing. It just is. You know, it's no fun. There's nothing to do. But it just feels like to me that as a society, or at least as the NPCs in this society, as the people who live within the framework defined by whoever's up there, right? This is something that is going to be taken very seriously by this administration. It's something that's very obvious that it's going fucking crazy. And the fact that these guys haven't said anything yet just makes me feel like it's just coming, like, so soon.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I hope not for everyone's sake, but it definitely
but
could be. I should probably check the news tonight. Now you got me wanting to read.
Like, it's not even a hope. Like, it's a pandemic. The data's out there. This shit is going fucking crazy.
Yeah, as someone who got 2 vaccines, I'd really like to know that I don't have to get a third, or that it'll actually work. It'd be nice. Thankfully, my city, Toronto here, is not too bad. Not too bad. In fact, I was away in British Columbia on the weekend up in Whistler, and they were just masks off. Oh! ETH BTC is breaking out. Let's go. 1559 mania incoming. Will it last through tomorrow, or will it mark the highs? Let's find out. There's a key resistance up here.
I'm looking at 0.075 and 0.071 on my side for those key resistances. If we bust up through those and we retest that trend
that's
line,
exactly
then it is risk the fuck on.
Yeah,
on
see,
shit
like,
I want to buy.
Look, dude, I know it's like 1559. It's a known, so it should be sell the news, and I'm with you on that. I'm not like, I still got a lot of cash in my account, but. Look,
it reminded me of the halvening deniers.
No, well, that's it, right?
No,
so
but the halvening's super bullish, but everybody expects the pump to be the halvening, but it's not. It's
after. Well, then that's the opposite of sell the news. That's like
the news gets sold at first.
Here's my thing, and I've been talking about this bearish market structure on ETH BTC for a while. So like I'm kind of flipping my bias here on this breakout the other day. Like, it was literally in the headline of the friggin' newsletter yesterday, like, ETH BTC looks in to break out. Like, we've basically just bull flagged into the EIP 1559, and on the eve of it, we're breaking out. That's different than if 1559 went live here, and this was all the hype and excitement and build up to it. Then I'd be like, yeah, I'm selling the news. For sure. We've had the party. It's probably going to have to come back. This has not been a party. We've been going sideways and down for 3.5 months. So I'm in the Rob camp now. I think I'm moving in. Like, can I buy it here? No. Did I flip some Bitcoin, the other day over to ETH because I realized I was severely underexposed? Yes. I was a little disappointed to find one Bitcoin is only worth 15 Ethereum all of a sudden. What the fuck happened? But, did I just ape 6 of my Ethereum into a bunch of NFTs that I can't sell for months? Yep. Am I going to keep doing that? Probably. But I do have some bids on ETH. I was like picking up little baskets of it, right? I was like, oh, I'll take 5. But my big bids were admittedly a little lower, like 24.50. They didn't hit. Is there a train outside of your house?
No, I'm fucking with my mic. Does that sound better?
Yeah, dude.
Well, it's louder.
Oh my god.
Okay, here I turned you back down.
My gain was all the way down on the microphone. I don't know how that happened.
Turn it back halfway.
Well, for the next episode, I will. I'll sound a little better. Shut up, Rob. You're getting my damn nerves.
Turn it down a little bit. You just went from 0 to like 100. Give it 50.
I'm a fucking boomer, non-techie, and I'm like, just adjust the input on the fucking mic.
I don't know anything about microphones.
Sorry, guys.
What are you talking about?
Well, dude, you got to warn us when you're going to do sound checks. I had you cranked up here for extra gain, and you just blew off, Yurazaka Quaz Forever's ears over on TradingView.
Good thing I wasn't saying anything fucking weird under my breath or anything like that.
Yeah.
We've had our share of incidents. On
Might pop the question. For any of you guys who don't know, I completely doxed my plans to propose to my fiance last week on the stream. And but, she didn't hear it. She was watching the stream. She was watching, and then she cut like 5 minutes early to go have dinner. And I ran upstairs after we got offline, and I was like, "Hey, babe, how's it going? Did you watch the stream?" And I was so sweaty, and she was like, "No, what? Like, yes, but like," and then I followed her around all night to make sure she didn't go look at it, and then and then I secretly thought she had caught it, but felt bad, and so didn't say anything. But after I popped the question, I asked her. She's like, "No, I swear I didn't." She missed it by 5 minutes to make dinner. God love her.
Yeah, meant to be.
I love how you call her Milady.
Milady, yeah.
Very
I know.
Chivalrous. It's very chivalrous of you.
Soon I can call her my wife, but for now, fiance. Fiance is kind of a mouthful, I just kind of want to skip to wife.
It's cool. That's cool.
How about your baby mama soon?
My baby mama, yeah. Well, that's what I've been calling her. She's probably watching right now. Love you, honey. I smell dinner. So, guys, we do have to wrap. We're getting it to that hour and a half.
God, he's not married yet.
Sweet spot. Yeah. Easy there, mouth. I hear that all the time, right?
You'll join the club.
You're happy now. Just wait till you're stuck. But yeah, I'm coming in.
Up.
No bans yet. No bans yet. But you know what? If you ever find somebody that you just can't picture your life without, lock them up. Lock in the profit.
Bands make her dance.
Lock in the profit. And this is coming from a guy who spent all of his 20s single. I think I might have been with one person in my 20s. Thought I would never find it. So here we are. I found it. So anyways, guys, that's it for today. A lot of banter. ETH BTC breaking out.
One thing. Let's take it back to the beginning, because Daniel was talking about at the very beginning. He was very concerned about impending doom for NFTs just because of how absolute apeshit they've gone over the last week, they have gone absolute apeshit. And we do have to remember that those NFTs are not nearly, it's not as quite of a liquid market as the perps and all this other shit that we trade in terms of like actual exchange traded stuff. So the one thing I could say is obviously these things could go a lot higher, but
for sure,
I would definitely say there's going to be some elevated volatility there.
I mean, guys, the number one thing, if you're going to buy this shit, buy a Bored Ape, buy a Punk, buy something that people are still going to care about, when Bitcoin's at 150K, because the thing about these generative NFT projects, there's so fucking many of them, and they can just spin up as many as they want at any time. Like, if you just buy the latest flavor right now because you think that you're going to get in the next big thing and it's going to, you're going to go all, you're just going to have a bad time. Okay. I think Punks, I think Bored Apes, there's a couple of other ones, like, you're going to be okay at some point if this is the NFT top. Maybe it's not. Maybe some people are calling this maybe one of the biggest crypto bubbles to ever inflate. We'll see.
Yeah, the other thing you got to remember, which I only just learned, is that I went and looked at some of the big holders in Punks. Like, some of them are inactive wallets for 2 years, 4 years. Where the hell was Punks 3 years ago, right? How do they have Punks? But my point is, be ready to hold. I mean, when I put things into these minting, these pepper attacks, these, penguin things I just picked up the other day, like, I'm just aping into some cheap early shit right now. And, I am not planning to sell them. I'm not going to be like, oh no, there's no liquidity. I assume there's no liquidity, and I assume that they're copycats. So just be safe, guys, like everything, because one thing I do know, I want to keep my liquidity for these charts, man. These, if anything, I'm like skimming profits out of the charts and, pushing them over into some shitty, cool, fun art things, because, clearly other people value them. And if they're going to, the one thing I'll say is when you bond DeFi, NFTs, and gaming, to me, that's a really sexy mix. So if I can take these NFTs and if I can stake them and farm them and then use a play to earn, like that's the ticket. That's where I'm minting the shit out of things right now. And again, 1, 2, 3%, 4% of my portfolio, nothing crazy. Because if they hit, Won't need much more than that.
Yeah, they're big.
They're going to be big. Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you back in with the squad. Hope to get you back next Wednesday.
Thanks, buddy. I'm on a few different sites now, looking for a whole new audio and.
I was about to say, maybe next time you come on,
this is
don't be
fucking
breathing
pathetic.
like
I am like semi-embarrassed.
I feel like you're gonna blow my house down this whole stream, bro. Big bad wolf over there.
The carpet matched the drapes.
Well, look, it's like it's about 1,300, 1,400 to get like the best thing you could need, the Joe Rogan
Put it
experience.
on the Underhills.
And it's we've got a handful. I've got a handful of things for you. So look, I'm all for it. I've been beating the horse about stream quality forever. So I think today we've got a lot of good feedback from people who are going to go to their ear doctor after the stream today, after cranking up their sound and then getting blown out. But so apologize, guys. If you stuck around this long, though, you probably like us. So let us know on the YouTubes with the like button. Hit us with a notification bell for all of our upcoming stream stuff. And yeah, we got to get Brenna in here soon. She's lurking. She's coming in pretty soon.
If you're still out there, there's still like 170 people watching or something. So smash that like button. The algos really they matter.
Hey, can we mention one thing for like 10 seconds before we get out of here? Because somebody just posted this in chat. We talked about it on the last stream. PulseChain has now raised over $14 billion.
Oh,
stop it.
Yep.
No,
oh my God!
I sacrificed for that shit, bro.
Yeah, you made a fucking political statement, Rob.
Holy cow! What a scam! What a fucking scam! 14 billion. I'm a seller of that level. I don't.
Come on.
Yeah, I put in a couple of Ethereum to that, so we'll see. I did notice the Telegram had like 120,000 messages.
Oh my God!
So
I'm gonna thank Krusty the Clown for sliding into my DMs and chilling me on it because I sacrificed for you, bro.
There you go. All in the name of medical research. But like, look, dude, if that 14 billion finds its way into like live longer medical research, that's pretty cool. Like, it'd be really fucking cool if it's like, U-turn story, longevity of life has been solved by Richard Hart. Like, that'd be pretty incredible. But, I won't hold my breath, but I like the idea. So, if you guys haven't already, and you're just watching YouTube and you haven't signed in, sign the fuck in. Sub to the channel. Feels good. Until next time, guys, I'll be back on Friday at 3 p.m. as per usual for Hero Labs Live. Just kicking it here on the charts. We'll see if ETH-BTC breaks out and holds. EIP 1559 coming out tonight, overnight, possibly under 20 hours.
I'm betting that Messi is bullish next week. He's going to flip bull. That's my bet.
All right.
All right, listen, I honestly hope. I don't like who I've become.
Good, man. Well, I'm gonna miss the banter if you do flip bull with me. But until next time, guys, whatever you do in general, always play from a position of strength, fellas. Take care. Messi the Bull coming next week.